5 o'clock on a Wednesday, and it's time for
Craig and Ryland's Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Wednesday, right here. We have got some great tricks this week, haven't we?
Yeah.
We're going to be sharing with you some absolute stonkers. But as normal, if there's any particular things that you want to see us review, let us know in the comments down below. We are more than happy. Old items, new items, we're more than happy to review anything that you want us to review, aren't we?
Yeah.
All you got to do is ask us. And yeah, we perform everything that we review. So without further ado, let's get straight into the first review. Okay, so first up today, we have Just the Soul, and this is by Adrian Vega.
Yeah.
And this is basically a card at any number, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not an any card at any number, it's a card at any number. So the effect is that you have somebody, you put a deck down on the table, you have somebody, well actually you put a deck down on the table, you have a folded up card that you put down on the table as well. You have somebody name a number, you take the cards out of the box, you count down to that number, whatever card is there, you open up the folded prediction and you show it's matched. So it's kind of more like an open prediction really. But it's billed as a card at any number. The download that comes with it, which is about 45 minutes long, Adrian goes through some verbal forces that you can use to actually make it into an any card at any number. So he talks about how you can do kind of a verbal force of a suit and a verbal force of a value. So you can have somebody apparently name a card and then name a number and then you've predicted it, which is kind of an interesting concept. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I like this, but there's certain things that I don't like about it as well. And I'll get into this in a bit, but maybe I should perform it first of all. What do you reckon? Okay, so I'm going to perform it first of all, let you see exactly what it looks like, and then we'll talk about what we think. Okay, right, I'm going to show you something with a deck of playing cards, robot cards, obviously. Yay. And as well as that, I have a folded up card here. Now, this is my prediction. I'm telling you right now, this is going to predict what's going to happen in the not too distant future. I'm going to pop that prediction right there inside that glass. I want you to remember that before I did anything, that prediction was isolated and placed inside that glass out the way. Is that fair?
Isolated from everyone else because he's got COVID.
Yes, the card has COVID. Right, Ryland, I have a deck of playing cards. How many cards are there in a deck?
52.
Now, I'm going to make this as fair as I possibly can. When I snap my fingers, Ryland, you're going to name a number from 1 to 52. Any number that you want to, it's completely up to you. And whatever number you say, that's the number we're going to use. Say that number right now.
35.
35. Would you like to change your mind?
No, because it's my favourite card, King of Hearts.
Well, it isn't a mem deck, but this is not a mem deck. So, but 35. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I want you to watch very carefully. Do not blink for a second. I'm going to deal 35 cards onto the table one at a time. And I want you to see that I'm not cheating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Which is the Queen of Hearts.
I was close.
Yeah.
One off.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously this isn't a mem deck, but you ended up with the Queen of Hearts. Is that a free choice? Yes.
Yeah, I don't see the King of Hearts in there.
Yeah, it's going to be in there somewhere.
It's got to be.
It's got to be in there somewhere. I don't know. It's definitely there. It is. There you go. But you ended up on the Queen of Hearts. You could have said any number. If you'd said a different number, you would have ended up on a different card. But you ended up on the Queen of Hearts. Now, this has been here from the very beginning, hasn't it? I mean, from the very, very beginning. And let me show you, if I can just open this up, I want you to see that there is one card and one card here. And that is the Queen of Hearts, proof that I was able to predict exactly what you would do.
Whoa.
So when we first opened up the box and looked at the gimmick, we weren't very impressed with the gimmick, were we?
I just thought it was one of those tricks where, like, you know, you take, like, you call two cards. No, not call. You take two cards off the deck and when you like flip it.
Yeah, like a shapeshifter, like a colour change.
I thought it was literally just that, but
it's a lot more than that, isn't it? Yeah, it's a lot more than that. The gimmicked card that comes with it is very clever. So you get a gimmicked card. You will have to look after it because it is basically just made out of cardboard and it will break if you don't look after it. But it's
made out of the bicycle card?
Yeah, so it's made out of bicycle card,
Yeah.
but it will break if you don't look after it, because it is basically a card at the end of the day. But what this card allows you to do, it's a very clever, this folded up gimmick card is a very clever multiple out style card. Reminds me of a gimmick that I've seen Blake Voigt make in the past, actually, but different. But anyway, so you have this gimmick, and you have the deck of cards. Now, the deck is set up to do this trick. However, it is a regular deck of cards, so there's no duplicate cards in the deck. There's no extra cards in the deck. It is a deck, a normal, by any stretch of the imagination, it is a completely normal deck of cards.
Yeah, you can have normal deck. It's just a normal deck.
Yeah, but it's set up to do this trick. There is a setup, so you could open with this trick, and then you could shuffle the deck and go into any other routine you want to, because you're left with a regular deck of cards. But if you're doing this walk around, or you're doing this restaurants, and you want to go and do it again and again and again, you might want to shuffle. You might not want to shuffle that deck of cards. The setup isn't massive. I mean, really, there's only just 4 cards that are set up in the deck. But if you did shuffle the deck, it would take you probably around about a minute to restack it, ready for the next table. So you're probably best not to.
Because won't you be like counting out cards?
You would be, yeah. You'd have to count through the whole deck and make sure that certain cards go in certain positions. So that's something to bear in mind as well. But I mean, it is what, you know, there's a couple of different principles at play here. The first principle is the way that the deck is stacked, and that's actually a very clever principle. I've seen something similar to that before, but it's very clever. It basically means that they're going to land on one of your target cards with only moving 2 cards. A lot of the time, you'll never need to adjust a card at all. Occasionally, you might need to adjust 1 or 2 cards, and there's a couple of different ways of going and doing that, which Adrian goes through. But the actual stack of the deck is very, very clever. And then the gimmick card that comes with it allows you to show that whatever card they end up on, you predicted it. And that's kind of the thing that kind of bugs me about this. This isn't really an any card at any number. It's not a traditional.
Isn't it just like a card at any number?
Yeah, an any card.
It's not an any card because it's not. It can't be any card. It's got to be a specific card.
It's got to be a specific card. Like I say, he does go into some verbal forces, which I have to be honest, I think he's tacked that on the end just to kind of try and say, hey, you can do this as an any card at any number. Nobody would ever use those verbal forces. I don't think anybody would. I don't think Adrian does. I believe Adrian does this, but I think he probably does it just as a card at any number. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not a traditional card at any number. Like I say, it feels to me more like an open prediction, kind of like, look, I've got this folded up card. I'm going to put it over there. I'm going to, I'm going to put this folded up card over there. You're going to name you're going to name a number. Deal down to that number, and oh look, my prediction matches. It's kind of thing. It's kind of more of a prediction trick than any card at any number, or even a card at any number. Having said that, it is a very workable method to do this.
It's easy.
It's not that difficult. In order to adjust occasionally,
Sorry,
when
you want to do this.
Do you? Yeah. It's not that hard. In order to adjust, there's a couple of different ways of doing it. Yes, you can. That's one of the ways of adjusting. And then there is another way that borrows a little bit from The Grail by Mike Rose. But there's a couple of different really intelligent ways of actually doing that adjustment. Outside of that, yeah, I mean, the card itself, how you open up the card, it's actually really easy. You just open it up the correct way. So you could do this no problem. Knowing your skill set and knowing what you can do with a pack of cards and what you can't do with a pack of cards, if you could do this, like literally, we could get you doing this in half an hour. In fact, maybe you should go and do this for a review show revisited. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
You do this one. Yeah, it's good. I mean, am I going to do it? That's the question. Because, as you know, I do quite a few card at any numbers and any card at any numbers and that sort of thing. Yeah. I don't think I'd do it just because I don't think I'd carry a deck of cards around with me and the folded up card just to do this trick, when I can do something very similar with a regular deck of cards, or I can do something very similar with a mem deck, or I can do something very similar with a Stebbins deck or something like that. So I don't think I'd do it. It doesn't mean it's not good. It's a workable solution for the method.
I would do it.
Yeah, you would do it. I know you'd do it. So I'm going to give it 79% just because I don't think I'd do it. But I recommend it. I think if you're looking for
I'm going to give it 95.
You're going to give it 95. I think if people are looking for a card at any number and they want a good one that's going to blow them away, then absolutely go for it. No problem at all.
This is definitely good for close-up, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. It's amazing for close-up. But it also worked really well for sort of parlour and stuff like that.
I don't think you could do it on stage because, like, if you think of the size of the card and how far away they are.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be good for stage, I don't think.
No, but parlour, close-up, absolutely fine. And if you are doing it... Yeah, walk around, absolutely fine. Because you can put the folded up card in their hand, or you can put it in a wine glass like he does and get them to hold onto the wine glass. Lots of different ways of doing it. And if you are doing it walk around or something like that, it instantly resets. As long as you don't mind using that deck of cards specifically for this trick, all you do is you put the deck back in your pocket, you put the folded up card back wherever you keep it from, and you reset ready to go for the next table.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good. 79% from me, 95% from Ryland. It's recommended. Yeah, it's good.
And the next trick is Cinemagic Flash.
It is indeed Cinemagic Flash, which is a really big box and a carrying handle. And this is kind of one of the weirdest tricks I've ever seen, ever. So what this is a... it looks a little bit like an old-fashioned sort of turn-of-the-century cinema device that plays old-fashioned movies, silent movies, and you turn the handle and you see the animation. And the animation is that of a person doing a front and back palm and then producing a card and dropping it down. And
then it comes out
as
a real card.
And it comes out as a real card. That's the kicker with it. So basically you show this device and you can turn the handle and show that there's an animation that it does. And then you can get somebody to pick a card. They can pick a card. And then when you turn the handle, what happens is they see the card being produced, and then when they drop the card down in the animation, it comes out the bottom of the thing, doesn't it? It's actually really clever. I mean, when you saw this, you fell in love with it immediately, and there are some issues you've got with it. I should tell you right now, Ryland's done all of this. Ryland watched the trailer. I'm not very good.
I made it.
You made it yourself. You put it all together. You've practiced it. Yeah. Why don't you perform it, and then you can talk about the pros and the cons with it, okay? Okay, so let's see a full performance of this right now.
I've got a pack of cards here. Okay?
Yeah?
All
you want me to move that box for you?
Yeah, they'll be well, thanks. They're all there, all different.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? Now, I'm just going to cut the cards and say stop anywhere.
Stop.
There.
Yeah?
That's your card.
Okay, shall I show the camera?
Yeah. That's the card.
Got it? Yeah?
Okay.
Come on top. No, I don't trust you. Shove it in the middle.
Not even doing anything. Okay. Now I don't know what that card is.
Okay.
And we've also got this big box sort of thing.
So what's this big box?
A theatre.
It's a theatre.
Yes.
It looks like a box.
It's a theatre from the front.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I'm looking at it from the side. It looks like a box. I'll have to take your mum's word for it. She's behind the camera. Does it look like a theatre, Sarah?
Not really sure what it is, to be honest.
Okay, well, let's go with it. It's a theatre. Right, what are we doing?
If I spin this round, it's a little film that plays and breaks. And he drops the card and it comes out.
What you guys don't realise is
this is... card?
Yes, that's the card. This is now the 6th take of this trick that keeps falling apart every single time, doesn't it? Yes. It just keeps falling apart every single time. I think that we just go with that. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
There, we're just going to go with that. Yeah, that's how it's meant to look like, but these bits aren't meant to fall off. And you and I saw this a few weeks earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we went on Lee Hathaway's boat tour with Mark O'Brien. Nigel Quinn was there doing it, and that's the first time we saw it, and we thought it was really good then, didn't we?
And he said, you said, where did you get it from?
Yeah, because
and then you forgot about it, and then we've just got sent it.
And then we've just been sent it for review. Well, we got it for review.
No, you got it,
yeah. So here's the thing. Let me tell you exactly. Well, you can go ahead. There's some serious negatives with this trick, isn't there? Do you want to talk about the serious negatives? Because you're the one that learns how to do this. Go for it.
It is very fragile.
It's very fragile, isn't it?
In every performance I've done, at least one of those things have fell out.
By one of those things, it's made up of like 30 or 24.
Yeah, 24.
24 sort of little, I don't know what you call them.
Things.
Yeah, little things that you carefully insert in. And so many times in the tutorial, it comes up on the screen going, be careful of the corners. This is the most fragile part. But the whole thing...
And they are very fragile.
The whole thing is very fragile. And
except the legs.
Except the legs. Legs are pretty sturdy.
Are hard.
Legs are pretty sturdy, aren't they?
And the back where you... Well, I'm not going to explain how it works, but at the back, yeah.
But you turn this thing and it is prone to falling apart, isn't it? And it's not through bad technique. It's not through anything like that. It's just a very fragile prop. I would never perform this in the real world.
Never. I wouldn't.
I worry that it would work.
I don't think we could do a review show revisited on this.
Because you wouldn't want to take it out to an actual gig.
No, it would just break straight away.
It'd just break. I don't know where you'd actually perform it, to be honest.
Cinema.
No, but think about it. Look at the size of it. I mean, you're not going to go to a normal gig and do that. Hi there, my name's Craig. I'm the magician. Excuse me. Can you move that stuff out the way? Can you move that stuff out the way? I'm just going to plonk this here on your table. Can you move your sausages out the way, please? Thank you very much. Right, look, when I turn this thing here like this, oh my gosh, look at this. Isn't this a miracle? So it wouldn't work on a table magic. It wouldn't work mix and mingle. What are you going to do? Get them to hold it?
It would work at a cinema. Like, you could go in order. There's no queue behind you. You just wait until there's no queue behind you. And then you do it to the staff.
Yeah, but it's not very often that you get a gig in a cinema, is it?
Like, no, you take it to the cinema.
Oh, right. So, you know, I'm going to the cinema, right? I'm off to go and see the new MCU film. Lovely. Right, I've got my son. Yep, sorted. Got my daughter. Yep, she's there. Got my snacks. Wonderful. I need to go and get my little wooden box. Because when I'm queuing up for my hot dog, hey, yes, can I have two tickets for Spider-Man 3, please? By the way, would you like to see this box? Like, what? What?
You just say, can I show you a magic trick? They're probably going to say yes.
They probably will say yes, because that's your approach to it, isn't it?
Yeah,
you want to see a magic trick?
You want to see a magic trick, you say yes, and you say, well, I've got this box here, pick any card. Okay? Now, cards that, like, you have a diamond and a heart there together. So if you had like an ace of hearts and an ace of diamonds, I'm gonna make the other card, the other partner of it, go into this box magically. Watch. You see, he's making a card appear. Watch. And it came out. Here you go. You can keep that.
There you go. Perfect. We'll never go to the cinema without it. So you can do it. You can do it as a force. You can do it as a signed card. You didn't do it as a signed card because obviously you need to palm the card out, and your hands are a bit too little to palm cards at the moment.
Bridge cards.
You can palm a bridge card, yeah. But it's you could use a bridge deck, yeah. But it's so you can get a signed card and palm the signed card out and load it as you bring the machine out, and it can be the signed card that comes out. That's
I don't want to explain
doable.
What's very good about the back and how it works.
No, you don't want to explain how that works. But the bottom line is the mechanism that allows the card to drop is very good.
Yes, very good.
And it's under your control in terms of timing.
Yeah, you could make it come out whenever you wanted to.
Absolutely. I don't think there's many places you could do this, and to be honest, even maybe a parlour show. You could probably do it as a parlour show, or you could take it to a cinema when you're going for watch a film. But generally, as a rule, there's not many places you could do this, to be perfectly honest. And also, like Ryland said, it is very fragile.
Fragile.
I know, you'd be worried about it breaking. Exactly.
If it comes out, just say, in the olden days, they used to come out. It's very fragile.
I'm going to give this 40% because I'm not going to do it. And it's very expensive. And you'd expect that when you're paying the sort of money you're paying for this prop, you would expect it to be absolutely flawless and never break. And the fact that it's breaking really upsets me a little bit.
And broke over and over again. Like, I came down, I turned it a bit to make sure it still works, and almost every card just came out. About 10 of them came out. 10 out of 24 came out.
Okay, so I'm giving it 50%. What are you giving it?
70, no, 80.
80%.
It's because it's fragile, and I am going to do it at the cinema.
Okay, so he's going to do it at the cinema. That's why he's giving it 80%. I'm giving it 50%, unless you've got a very specific reason for doing this. Like Nigel Quinn had a very specific act this worked in. I wouldn't bother. It's a bit impractical, to be honest. But there you go.
This was a freaky act.
It was a good act. Really good act, wasn't it? Freaky. What do you mean by freaky?
He made the thing float.
I know, it was amazing, wasn't it?
Dee.
I know, it was amazing. It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Freaky.
If you haven't seen Nigel Quinn's act, go check it out. It's really good.
Now the next trick is iBalance Plus by Mark Elsdon.
Mark Elsdon, that's right. iBalance Plus by Mark Elsdon. This is a P3, a Penguin Magic product. And this is basically, I remember Mark bringing the original version of this out years ago. And then obviously this is the new version. And it's a very simple plot. The whole idea is that you borrow a spectator's phone and you take the phone and you hold it in between your hands to find the centre of gravity. And it looks like you're trying to find the centre of gravity. And then you remove one of the hands out of the way and it ends up balancing basically on the tips of your fingers. And you can lift the phone up and they can see it from above, they can see it from below, they can see it from pretty much every angle. And then you immediately just give them the phone back. Or you can do it again and balance it on literally just one finger. It's, I mean, it looks incredible. I mean, it's not impromptu, but it feels like it's impromptu because you're borrowing a phone, or you can do it with your own phone. And it comes with two gimmicks. Shock horror, there's a gimmick. But it comes with two gimmicks that allow you to do it with either an Android phone or an iPhone.
Yes.
So depending on which phone that you're going to borrow when you're out and about, you can use either one of the gimmicks. Now I'm going to perform it for you first of all. And then once I've performed it for you, I'll talk about some of the pros and cons, because there are a couple of cons with this, although generally it's good. But let's have a look at a performance first of all. Okay, right, I've got my phone here, yeah? And what I'm going to try and do is show you how incredible my balance is. I don't know if you realise this, but Ryland, when I was younger, I was an acrobat in the circus.
No, you weren't.
Shut up. Yes, I was. Why is it so hard to believe that I was an acrobat in the circus? I used to walk across tight ropes. I used to like balance on one leg. I could have entered.
That's easy.
I could have entered the Olympics if I wanted to.
Shut up.
Look, you're not helping things by laughing over there. It's true, I could be.
You could not.
Right now, it was a choice. Get a job as a magician or get a job as a trapeze artist. I actually went down the route of magician, but I could have been.
So you weren't an acrobat because, or you would have been an acrobat and you would have got more money.
Oh, look, let me show you my amazing balance skills. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Watch this. I've got my phone, yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and find it. See, when you're an acrobat...
You're looking like you're looking for the centre of gravity.
I am. You see, when you're an acrobat like me, what you have to do is you have to learn how to make your balance perfect. And what I'm doing right now is I'm actually finding the centre of gravity on this phone, which allows me to balance that phone. Now, that's not very impressive until I actually just take this hand away. And you can see that I'm actually balancing my phone right there. You can actually see it's balancing on two fingers. You can have a look from underneath. You can look from the side. You can look from the front. I'm actually balancing. You can do it anytime. You can actually, if you're very careful, you can do it on just two fingers like that.
I'm going to try.
No, see, you can only do this if you're a trained acrobat. There you go.
Centre of-
Well, here you go. There's my phone. You can try it if you want to. There you go. Give it a go. No, you suck. Lucky I'm the acrobat and not you.
You're not an acrobat.
Yes, I'm acrobat.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Shut up.
Shut up.
I'll send you to bed.
Shut up.
So it looks great, doesn't it, Ryan? I mean, it looks really good. And it's the sort of thing that when you're doing walk around magic really kind of establishes credibility very, very quickly. You know, I believe that as a magician, you should be doing lots of impossible things for an audience. You know, as a magician, we should be able to do impossible things. Yeah. Being able to do a balance like this, it's absolutely impossible. And I actually use Joshua Jay's balance routine in my parlour show. And when I do it in my parlour show, I've in the past done this beforehand, and I say, well, hey, you know, let me show you something with using balance. If you like this, I'm going to show you something later on that's really going to blow you away. So it's nice. It's really good. Now, there is a problem. Let me explain what the problem is. The problem is that the gimmicks are really small. If you're not careful, you could very easily lose the gimmicks.
Yes.
Couldn't you, Ryland?
Yes.
Who has currently lost the gimmicks for this twice. So you could very easily...
Twice?
Twice.
No, once.
Twice.
Once.
You could very... Twice. You
Once.
could very... Twice.
What?
You could very easily lose the gimmicks. Now, the problem with that is if you lose the gimmick, you're stuffed because then you can't do it, right? And if you're considering doing this with a borrowed phone and you're going to have like your Android gimmick with you and you're going to have your iPhone gimmick with you, they are very small. So you don't want to carry it around in this because that would look ridiculous. You know, like, oh, can I borrow an iPhone? Thank you. Let me just open up this for a second. Let me just take one of these out. Brilliant. There we go. I'm ready. So you want to have it in your pocket. But the problem is if it's in your pocket and you've got anything else in your pocket, you could very easily lose that out of your pocket. Like it is very easily losable. I mean, it's a very small gimmick. So that's the negative to it. Let me explain how I get around that. I don't use a borrowed phone. I don't think borrowing a phone really adds much to this routine. I think it's just as impossible if you take your own phone out, you borrow your own phone. You borrow your own phone?
You take your own phone.
You use your own phone. You do the routine with your own phone, and then you go into whatever other routine you want to do with your phone.
Maybe it's your wife's phone.
Oh, your wife's phone. No, but the reason I think that's better is because then the gimmick can be attached to your phone. So in my case, I can take the gimmick, attach it to my iPhone, so it's there, it's secure, it's in place. When I want to do this trick, I just reach into my pocket, take out the phone. I'm in position to immediately do this trick. I can hand the phone out afterwards for examination just by stealing the gimmick. I can then do whatever else I want to do with my phone. And then when I put the phone away, I can reattach the gimmick and I'm ready to do it for the next table. And I always know where that gimmick is. So I would advise using your own phone and not borrowing a phone unless you've got a way of making sure that the gimmicks don't get lost. That's the one negative that I'd say about this. The other thing that I'd say, by the way, is if you do use your own phone, there's a slight difference in the gimmicks between the iPhone and the Android version. With the iPhone version, the gimmick locks in place. So it's locked and it's locked securely in place, so you're not going to lose it. It'll stay there until you need it. With the Android version, it actually falls out very, very easily. So if you had an Android and you were trying to do the method that I suggested to you there, you might lose it in your pocket because it might fall out your phone. So that's something to bear in mind. But outside of that, I mean, it's very, very commercial. You can borrow a phone if you want to. It's easy to do. Doesn't really take much practice. You'll do it immediately. It's very different. It's not a card trick or a coin trick. And because if you do magic with phones like I do, it's a nice lead-in. It's a nice and impossible thing that you can do with a phone before you go into something more impressive.
Yeah.
So what do you think of it?
I think it's quite good.
It's quite good, isn't it? It's.
I know what percentage I'm going to give it.
You know what percentage you're going to give it. The one thing that I would say is be aware of the angles. The angles are really good, but it's not completely angle proof. You think it is, but it's not completely angle proof. So when you're doing it, you want to be very careful of how you're actually showing it. But as long as you're aware of those angles, it's not really too much of an issue. Yeah, okay, what are you going to give it? You tell me.
I said I'm going to give it 95.
95%. I think that's fair. I think this is really good. I'm going to give this 90%. I'm going to continue to do this. I think it's really good. I think if you want something in your act that doesn't take up any pocket space, that's very, very different, that will really resonate with audience members, this is something you want to get. So there you go. It's Balance Plus by Mark Elsdon, and it's recommended.
And the next trick is Tricolour Dice by Wayne Dobson.
Tricolour Dice by Wayne Dobson. Now, you learnt this completely, didn't you? I mean, I was doing an interview with somebody, I can't remember who. It
was Lloyd, Daniel. It was Lloyd and Daniel.
Lloyd and Daniel. Oh, Lloyd and Daniel. Yes, you're right, it was, wasn't it? So I did an interview with Lloyd Barnes, and then after Lloyd Barnes, I did another interview with Daniel. And we won't say who because it'll be a nice surprise for when they see the interview. And while I was doing that, you were learning Tricolour Dice, weren't you?
Yeah.
Which you learnt it completely, and then proceeded to show it me and completely fooled me with it. I thought it was really good. It's a 4-phase routine, isn't it?
4-phase routine.
4-phase routine,
yeah. Using
these little boxes. So you get the props that you get are really good, as you would expect with Wayne. The props are really good. There you go. So you get these little boxes, which are very well made.
And the marking system is good.
The marking system is good. I mean, you're giving it away a little bit here by saying there's a marking system, but I don't mind talking about the marking system because
it's
It's very clever and very easy to spot. Even me, with my rubbish eyesight, I can actually spot the marking system once Ryland told me what it was.
But it doesn't. You can't really tell the difference.
No,
But
you
when
wouldn't.
you actually know the marking system, you can tell it completely.
Yeah, and each phase of the routine builds. So all you need on you is this, and I think you get a little bag to keep them in, don't you, as well? Yeah. No, you don't. So you just need these with you. So you just need these three little boxes and the dice that are inside, and you have those in your pocket.
A blue dice, a red dice, and a white dice.
And they just go in your pocket, and when you want to do the routine, you bring the boxes out, you're ready to go. It's an instant reset. Everything's examinable at the end. Like, there's a lot to love about this. Do you want to do a full performance, first of all?
Yeah.
So we'll get Ryland to perform all of the phases, and then once he's performed all of the phases, we'll talk about what we think.
I've got 3 dice inside these boxes. I've got a white, I've got a red, and I've got a blue.
Yeah.
I'll take these out and put the lids over there. Like that. Now I want you to pick any dice and put it in any box. So like this. Like, it could be any box.
Okay, right, any dice in any box.
That could.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to put that one in there.
Okay. Now put the lid on.
Okay.
Oh. The lid on. There.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'll put the other 2 with the... And then I'll put these 2 on. I was about to say with the lids over there, but no, not the lids. The lids go on the boxes.
Okay.
Okay, now mix them up.
Mix them up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now, if I told you where it was...
That would be terrible because you were looking.
Yeah, because I was looking. And I do know where it was. It was there because I was looking yet.
Mm-hmm.
But if I look away, mix them up now.
Okay. Well, this will be more impressive.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me where that dice is?
Yeah.
You're going to tell me where that dice is? Not a chance.
Huh? You say it again?
Not a chance. Very good. Very, very good.
Well, the other 2 are here. Now put the other 2 in the boxes.
Hey, in either one?
Either one. Either one.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'll look away, and I want what I want you to do is I want you to take any dice.
Okay.
So if you pick red, like that's if you pick red, but put it in your pocket, and then put the lid back on, and then switch the other 2 around.
Okay.
Okay?
But I can do that with any...
Any dice, yeah. Any.
Okay. Put it in my pocket and then switch the other 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
Now I'll tell you which one you picked.
Not a chance.
Yeah, you got blue, didn't you?
I did get
In
blue.
that box.
That's incredible. Yes, I got blue. Well done.
Now this is what you're going to do. Put it behind your back. Mix the dice up like this. And then take the box. Put it in. Put the lid on. I'll give you the box and lid.
Okay.
Okay, so take
So
the dice.
mix it up so I don't know which one's which.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
And then put the in the box behind your back.
Yep.
And the lid.
Oh, oops. There you go.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to tell you which number you got.
No way.
Yeah, it's 1.
It was indeed 1. Yes, look at that. That's very cool.
It was 1. Now what if I told you I went 1 step further?
I can't see how you could possibly go 1 step further.
I could. You could have put any dice in any box.
Yes.
At the beginning, anywhere. You mix them up.
Yes.
The lid. You could have picked any box and put any lid on it.
Yes.
But still, it's a blue dice, blue dot. Red dice, red dot. White dice, white dot.
That's very cool.
And you can examine everything.
Very, very awesome. So yeah, I mean, that's a really good performance, right? And it's a really, what I like about the structure of the routine is it really builds, doesn't it? And it's like you've got the first phase where they're guessing where the dice is, and then you've got the second phase and the third phase and the fourth phase, and then you've got that kicker ending at the end where even though they've made all the decisions, you've predicted where the dice go and you've predicted absolutely everything. And the nice thing about this, it's instant reset, isn't it? You just put the dice back in the box.
You don't need to do the marking system, but it's just the end phase.
Okay,
just for the end phase.
Just for the end phase. It's completely examinable, isn't it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, completely examinable. Instant reset. As soon as you put the dice away in the boxes, the reset ready to go again. Do you need a table? Can you do it without a table? Can you do it in the spectator's hands? Or not really, you need a table, don't you?
Yeah.
So you need a table, that's something to bear in mind, but you don't need like a specific table service.
You can't do it walk around, but you can do it close up.
Yeah.
Because in close up you usually have a table.
Yeah, you can do it close up, you can do it like restaurants and things like that.
I've got some dice here.
I mean, obviously, you know, I use mental dice, and I think mental dice are absolutely brilliant. And you've got the 3 different coloured dice, and you can do so much with them.
This is Tricolour Dice.
This is Tricolour Dice. I mean, it achieves this. The routine that you do with this, it's as good as anything that you do with your mental dice. But you don't need any special dice. I mean, the dice are regular. The boxes that they go in are regular. Everything's regular here. So it's very clever that Wayne's been able to put this whole routine together that emulates a mental dice and Verdi style routine with ungimmick dice and ungimmick boxes. And you know, it's a testament to Wayne Dobson and his clever thinking and his routining ability that, you know, means that you can now do something that's within the realm of the mental dice set without spending a fortune, because this is not actually very, very expensive at all. The one thing that you need to be aware of, this does not come with video instructions. It comes with an old school download ebook, which is absolutely fine for me because I love ebooks. But if you're a visual learner, or if you're somebody who...
E-book.
Huh?
I e-book.
You like ebooks, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ryland learnt this whole thing from the ebook, no problem at all. It's got really good descriptions and diagrams and so on and so forth.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Exactly.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, you just follow it.
It's got 20 parts.
Yeah, you just follow it and you're good to go. So yeah, I mean, I really like this. I'm going to give this 90%. What are you going to give it?
99.
99%. Yeah, you're going to have to do this on a review show revisited, because I think you could kill with this in the real world. So 99% from Ryland, 90% from me. It's well, you saw Ryland's performance. If you like what you saw, you'll be able to do that within about half an hour to an hour of opening the box, reading the instructions, practicing it a couple of times. You'll be able to do that same thing. It's not difficult to do, it's easy to do, and it's very, very commercial. So there you go. If you like the performance, buy the trick. Okay, so the final review we've got is Nomad. We're doing a 5th review today, and the reason we're doing a 5th review is because I can't perform this. So because I can't perform it, we wanted to do 4 routines that I could perform, or Ryland could perform, and 1 that we couldn't. And the reason we can't perform it is because it's absolutely dreadful in terms of quality. So let me tell you...
It's supposed to be a ring into a coin or a coin into the
I've got 3 of these now, and they've all broken. So what happened is I ordered one of these from Penguin Magic, I think, and it came through the post, and I opened it, and everything was fine, and it comes with a ring, and it comes with a coin, and I'll show you that in a minute. And the ring and the coin, and I watched the download, and I was like, okay, this is actually quite clever, because I like ring and coin stuff. If you've seen the channel before, you'll know that I actually do the collusion ring set quite often in close-up, so that's something that I do an awful lot. And so this was this interested me. I also have done in the past the Garrett Thomas Opus routine, so it's kind of like, right, okay, this interests me. And then when I watched the tutorial, I was like, oh, that's really clever. I like the way that the coin and the ring work together. So I watched the tutorial. Then within 5 minutes of playing around with it, the ring broke. I was like, well, that's a bit... Well, I'll show you in a minute exactly what happened. So I was like, well, that's a little bit disappointing that the ring broke. So I got some super glue, and I got Sarah, because obviously I don't super glue. I'm terrible at fixing things, and I asked your mum to fix it. And I explained to her exactly, I showed her the tutorial, I explained to her exactly what needed to happen. And we tried to super glue it on there, and it didn't really look good. It looked terrible, and then it snapped off again. So I was like, okay, well, maybe, just maybe, it's you know, I got a dodgy one, so let's try again. So I was putting an order in with Vanishing Ink. So I put another order in for another Nomad. This is how much money I spend on tricks for this channel. And this came, that came, and same story. I opened it up, and within 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, the ring had broken. So then I went to Prop Dog. I was in London with my friend Nomad doing a gig, and on the way back, we went to Prop Dog. And I went in, and the guys at Prop Dog were there, and I bought some stuff and had a Nomad, and I was like, look, I'll tell you what, I'll get another Nomad. So now this is my third Nomad, which is this one. I opened it up, and it was broken when I opened up the packaging. Like, so it's not like I've given this a fair crack of the whip. And the guys at Prop Dog said that theirs broke quite easily as well. The guys at Prop Dog said that the one that they actually opened had broken within seconds. So, like, I'm going to contact all these different companies to see if I can get my money back. But the most important thing for me was to try and get a review of this. And I can't, because the quality is terrible. So what you get with this is you get, and I think I need to explain this. I don't want to expose anything, but I think people need to understand that you can't buy this because it's going to break. It's going to break. You get a replica silver dollar, which is actually quite nice. It's very well made. It's a replica silver dollar. You also get a ring that's designed to look like a silver dollar. And this is the part that breaks. You got this extra little bit that's meant to kind of sit there on top of the ring. And this extra little bit is actually a magnet. Can I have the coin back for a minute? And the magnet sticks to the coin. So the whole idea behind it is that you can show this this ring, and just in the action of rubbing it, it will attach to the ring, and your angles are really good, and it's actually really clever. And I've watched the tutorial.
And it sticks.
Yeah, and it sticks to it,
and
then
you can hold it with one
yeah,
hand.
and then there's a load of different moves and things that you can do, and it's a really nice idea. And I was watching the tutorial, I was like, man, this is clever, this is clever, this is clever. I could see myself doing this because I do routines like this at the moment as it is, and then it just breaks. And as I say, you try to get this one. You can see where it's broken. You can see there, look, it's just snapped off. This is the one from Prop Dog that was broken when I actually opened up the box. And you can see, if you look carefully, where it came from there. It came from there, yeah. So me and your mum have tried to super glue this back in place like 2 or 3 times. And it either looks terrible or it snaps off again once you've super glued it. So I can't recommend it. It's terrible. And there's a message to be learned here for any production company that's out there that's producing magic tricks and props and products. You can have the best trick in the world, but if it's not fit for purpose, it means it's not marketable. This is not fit for purpose. This is something that you should not be selling until you've worked out a way of creating the gimmicks in such a way that they're not going to fall apart within 30 seconds of them being used, or they're not going to fall apart when you've opened up the box and they're broken because they're broken in transit. Like, I've got 3 of these now, which I'm going to try and return. Whether I'm going to be able to or not, I don't know. But I've got 3 of these now that I need to return. And it's disappointing because I actually really like the trick.
Well, why don't you return 2? Because I want the coin in the ring.
Okay, you can have the coin in the ring. Here you go.
You can return the other 10.
You don't need the magnet. You can have that. There you go. That's for you. So, I mean, you can do... Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this. Unless they absolutely change the quality of this prop immediately, and unless it comes out to a higher standard, I wouldn't recommend it. If you want to turn a coin into a ring, it's a little bit more difficult.
No, it's a ring into a coin.
Yeah, and back again, and back and forth like a spellbound routine. The 2 places that I would go to learn that is the Collusion ring and coin set from the Mechanical Industries that's available from all good magic dealers, or Opus, which is by Garrett Thomas, and again available through all good magic dealers. It came out through Cosmo Magic, I believe. Either one of those are fantastic sources for learning how to turn a ring into a coin and back and forth and back and forth. They're a little bit more difficult because they rely on sleight of hand, but at least you're not going to have a gimmick that breaks and that isn't going to work. So I'm sorry I've kind of talked over you with this, but it's just terrible, right? We can't perform it. I'm going to give this 0%. What about you? Because you can't use it.
Yeah, minus 10.
Minus 10. Minus 10% from Ryland, 0% from me. It is really not good.
And that's another review shop in the back. And that's another review shop in the back.
Yes, it is. Right, now.
And that's another review shop in the back.
Okay, Thank you. Right, that is another review show in the bag. Guys, thank you so much for joining us once again. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, if you want to see us review something, leave us a comment down below and we will be happy to review it for you. And don't forget, on Friday, me and Ryland do the review show Revisited, where we go out and perform the stuff that we've reviewed on the review show in the real world and see if that changes our rating. So that's on Fridays at 9 o'clock. But
You can't do that in the real world, though.
oh, exactly. That ain't going to happen. But guys, thanks very much. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. You want to subscribe to his YouTube channel. He is Ryland the Kid Magician. Just search for Ryland the Kid Magician on YouTube. And we will be back again next Wednesday with another Craig and Ryland review show. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
See you again. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.